Have you ever wondered how to see through the masks people wear and uncover their true selves without years of guesswork? Welcome to ZenLight 8, where ancient wisdom meets modern clarity. Today, we're diving into 5 timeless Stoic signs that reveal someone's real character in an instant. These aren't just tricks to read others. They're a roadmap to transform your own life. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll not only spot authenticity from a mile away, but also unlock a deeper, more purposeful version of yourself. Let's get started. Imagine a bustling coffee shop on a crisp Monday morning in a city like Seattle or Chicago. Baristas juggling orders, steam hissing from espresso machines, and customers tapping their feet, eyes glued to their phones. You're in line, waiting for your latte, when you notice 2 people ahead of you. One snaps at the barista for a slight delay, their voice sharp with entitlement, barely glancing up from their screen. The other, despite the same wait, offers a warm, "No worries, take your time," paired with a genuine smile. Both leave with their coffee, but the air they leave behind feels entirely different. Which one would you rather share your morning with? More importantly, which one reflects the kind of person you want to be? Welcome to a truth as old as time, yet as fresh as today. How someone treats those who can't help them is a window into their soul, a raw, unfiltered glimpse of their true colors. This isn't just about politeness or social graces. It's about the heart of modern Stoicism, a philosophy that's been lighting up human nature for over 2,000 years, from the marble halls of ancient Rome to the concrete jungles of America's urban sprawl. Let's peel back the layers of this idea, because it's not as simple as it seems on the surface. We all know how easy it is to turn on the charm when there's something to gain. Whether it's impressing a boss in a sleek Manhattan office, winning over a date at a trendy rooftop bar, or networking at a conference in Silicon Valley. In those moments, we're actors on a stage, curating our best selves for an audience that matters. But what happens when the spotlight dims? When the stakes vanish? When there's no applause to chase? That's where the real story begins. Picture a janitor sweeping the floors after hours in a corporate high-rise, unnoticed by the suits who left hours ago. Or a waiter refilling water glasses at a roadside diner off I-95, serving truckers and travelers who'll never tip big or write a glowing Yelp review. These are the moments that don't make it to Instagram stories or LinkedIn brag posts. They're quiet, fleeting, and seemingly insignificant. Yet they carry a weight that echoes far beyond the noise of our achievement-obsessed world. A Stoic philosopher, Seneca, a man who walked the chaotic streets of Nero's Rome, nailed it when he said, "Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you." Think about that for a second. It's not just a call to be nice. It's a radical flip of perspective. In a society like ours, where status is king and success is measured in followers, titles, and bank accounts, this idea feels almost rebellious. We're conditioned to climb ladders, to curry favor with those above us, to polish our resumes for the gatekeepers of opportunity. But Seneca's wisdom pulls us back to the ground, reminding us that the way we treat the barista, the delivery driver, or the stranger asking for directions isn't just a footnote. It's the headline of our character. It's a mirror reflecting not what we've achieved, but who we are when the world isn't watching. Let's take this deeper. Why does this matter so much? Because these interactions, small, unglamorous, and unrewarded, strip away the masks we wear. When there's nothing to gain, no promotion to snag or favor to earn, what's left is the raw material of our humanity. A simple thank you to the grocery store cashier who's been on her feet for 8 hours isn't just manners. It's a recognition of her worth, a quiet nod to the shared thread that ties us all together. Holding the door for a stranger lugging heavy bags through a busy subway station isn't about heroism. It's about seeing them, really seeing them, as more than a blur in your day. These acts don't come with a paycheck or a pat on the back, but they ripple outward, shaping the world in ways we rarely stop to notice. They're the heartbeat of a life lived with purpose, a life that says, "I value you, not for what you can do for me, but for who you are." Now flip the coin. What happens when someone dismisses those who can't help them? Picture a hurried executive barking at a parking attendant for a minor mix-up, or a customer rolling their eyes at a flustered clerk in a packed Target on Black Friday. It's not just rudeness. It's a signal of something deeper, a crack in the foundation. That impatience, that arrogance, that flicker of entitlement. It whispers of a heart that sees people as tools, not souls. It's a mindset that erodes trust, not just with others but within themselves. Because here's the kicker. How we treat those who can't repay us doesn't just reveal our character. It shapes it. Every snap, every cold shoulder, every missed chance to extend kindness chips away at our own integrity, leaving us a little smaller, a little less whole. But let's not linger in the shadows. There's light here, too. Think about the last time you saw someone shine in one of these moments. Maybe it was a coworker who took a minute to chat with the office cleaning crew, asking about their day with genuine curiosity. Or a parent at the park who thanked the groundskeeper for keeping the space safe for their kids. Their tone warm and real. These aren't grand gestures splashed across headlines. They're quiet victories, testaments to a spirit that doesn't bend with the wind of self-interest. And here's what's beautiful. These moments don't just lift the people around us. They lift us, too. When we choose kindness over indifference, respect over disdain, we're not just building a better world, we're building a better version of ourselves. This isn't some lofty ideal reserved for saints or philosophers. It's practical, grounded, and alive in the everyday chaos of modern America. In a culture that celebrates hustle, where we're told to grind harder, network smarter, and chase the next big win, Stoicism offers a counterpoint. Slow down, look around, and see the people who don't fit into your 5-year plan. The Uber driver navigating rush hour in LA, the cashier ringing up your late-night snacks at a 7-Eleven in rural Ohio, the neighbor who waves from their porch every morning. They're not stepping stones to your success. They're human beings, just like you, carrying their own dreams, struggles, and quiet hopes. Treating them with dignity isn't a detour from your path. It is the path, a road to a life rooted in empathy, humility, and unshakable virtue. And here's where it gets personal. This isn't just about sizing up others, it's about sizing up ourselves. Next time you're tempted to brush past the hotel housekeeper with a curt nod or ignore the street vendor selling flowers in the rain, pause. Ask yourself, what does this moment say about me? Am I living the values I claim to hold? Or am I letting convenience call the shots? Modern Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about catching ourselves in these small slip-ups and choosing differently next time. Because every interaction, no matter how fleeting, is a chance to align our actions with our highest selves. It's a chance to prove that kindness isn't conditional, that respect isn't a currency we trade for gain, that our worth isn't tied to who's watching. Picture this, a world where we all live this way. A ripple starts with you, thanking the exhausted postal worker during the holiday rush, tipping the server who got your order wrong but tried their best, smiling at the kid bagging your groceries with shaky hands. That ripple spreads, touching lives you'll never see, weaving a web of goodwill that makes every corner of this country a little brighter, a little more humane. That's the power of this first Stoic secret. Not just to reveal character, but to refine it, to remind us that our truest strength lies in how we lift others up when there's nothing to gain but the quiet glow of doing what's right. So as we step away from this window into the soul, let's carry its light forward. Because this is just the beginning. Next, we'll explore how the smallest frustrations in life can unveil even deeper truths about who we are and who we can become. Stay with me on this journey. The path to understanding others starts with understanding ourselves. How they handle minor inconveniences. Picture yourself stuck in traffic on a humid summer afternoon somewhere along I-95. The kind of jam where brake lights stretch for miles and the AC in your car is fighting a losing battle. Horns blare, engines idle, and the clock ticks past the time you promised you'd be home. How do you feel in that moment? Does your chest tighten? Your fingers drum the steering wheel, a sharp word or two slipping out under your breath? Or do you take a deep breath, turn up the radio, and let the delay wash over you like a passing cloud? Now imagine two people in the cars next to you. One leaning out their window, red-faced and shouting at the universe. The other calmly scrolling through a podcast, unfazed by the chaos. Same road, same delay, but two wildly different worlds. This is the second Stoic secret to seeing someone's true colors. how they handle minor inconveniences. It's not about the traffic or the spilled coffee or the slow Wi-Fi. It's about what those everyday hiccups reveal beneath the surface. A quiet litmus test of emotional maturity and self-mastery. A life in modern America is a mosaic of small frustrations. A delayed flight at JFK. A barista mixing up your order in a crowded Starbucks. A grocery line that moves like molasses on a cold day. These moments are as common as sunrise, yet they carry uncommon power. They're the cracks where our composure is tested, where the masks we wear slip just enough to show what's underneath. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's sharpest minds, hit the nail on the head when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's the golden thread here. We can't stop the rain from falling or the printer from jamming right before a big meeting, but we hold the reins to our response, and that choice paints a vivid picture of who we are. Let's zoom in on this. Why do these tiny disruptions matter so much? Because they're the proving ground for resilience, a daily gym where we flex the muscles of patience and grace. Think about the last time you saw someone lose it over something small. Maybe a coworker slamming their laptop shut when an email wouldn't send, or a stranger muttering curses when their Uber pulled up 5 minutes late. That flash of anger, that spiral of blame, it's not just a bad moment. It's a signal. It whispers of a mind that bends too easily under pressure, a spirit that hasn't yet learned to stand tall when the winds blow. Contrast that with the person who shrugs off a flat tire on their way to work, cracking a joke to the tow truck driver instead of cursing the road. That calm isn't weakness. It's strength, forged in the quiet art of choosing peace over chaos. This isn't about pretending life's annoyances don't sting. We're human, not robots. Frustration is part of the package. But Stoicism doesn't ask us to suppress it. It invites us to redirect it, to turn a spilled latte into a chance to practice patience, a missed bus into a moment to breathe. Imagine a young nurse in a hectic ER in Atlanta, her shift stretched thin by a broken coffee machine and a line of grumpy patients. One nurse snaps at the orderly, her exhaustion spilling over. Another laughs it off, offering a kind word to the next patient despite the mess. Both are tired, both are stretched, but one radiates calm, the other breeds tension. Which one lifts the room? Which one would you trust with your care? These small stakes reveal big truths, because how we handle the little stuff often predicts how we'll face the storms. And here's where it gets inspiring. This is a skill we can build. It starts with awareness, catching ourselves in the act. Next time you're stuck behind a slow walker on a busy sidewalk in downtown Denver, notice the heat rising in your chest. Pause. Ask, is this worth my peace? Then choose. Let it go. Crack a smile. Turn it into a story instead of a grudge. That's the Stoic secret in action. Transforming irritation into opportunity. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who knew a thing or two about stress, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Every delayed Amazon package, every glitchy Zoom call, becomes a training ground for that strength. A chance to prove to yourself that you're bigger than the moment. The beauty of this lies in its ripple effect. When you meet a snag with grace, you don't just save your own sanity. You light the way for others. Picture a teacher in a bustling Chicago classroom, her projector failing 5 minutes before the bell. She could snap, sending the kids into a tailspin of nerves. Instead, she pivots, turning it into an impromptu discussion, her calm steadying the room. That's not just resilience. It's leadership, a quiet gift that shifts the energy around her. We've all felt it. The person who stays cool under pressure doesn't just weather the storm, they become the shelter. And in a world that often feels like it's spinning too fast, between deadlines, headlines, and the endless ping of notifications, that kind of presence is a rare and precious thing. So what does this say about us? It's a mirror we can't ignore. The next time life throws you a curveball, a rained-out picnic, a power outage during your favorite show, watch yourself. Are you the one who grumbles, letting the moment steal your joy? Or are you the one who adapts, finding a silver lining in the mess? This isn't about perfection, it's about growth, about leaning into the Stoic truth that our power lies in our response. Because in these fleeting frustrations, We don't just reveal our true colors. We refine them, brushing strokes of patience and poise onto the canvas of our lives. How they value time. And now let's shift gears to a resource we all share, yet wield so differently: time. Imagine a crisp fall morning in a small town like Asheville, North Carolina. Leaves crunching underfoot, the air buzzing with the promise of a new day. Two friends agree to meet at a local cafe at 10 a.m. One arrives at 9:55, coffee in hand, ready to dive into the conversation. The other strolls in at 10:20, flustered and full of excuses. Traffic, a last-minute call, the usual chaos. Same invitation, same clock, but two starkly different approaches. This is the third Stoic lens: how someone values time. It's not just about punctuality or packed schedules. It's a window into their discipline, their respect, their very soul. In a nation built on hustle, from Wall Street to Main Street, how we spend our minutes reveals more about us than any resume ever could. Time is the great equalizer. Whether you're a tech mogul in San Francisco or a farmer in Iowa, you get the same 24 hours, no refunds, no do-overs. Seneca, that Stoic sage who wrestled with Rome's excesses, put it bluntly: we are tight-fisted with property, but wasteful of time. It's a gut punch of truth. We lock our doors, guard our wallets, chase promotions with laser focus. But how often do we let time slip through our fingers, squandered on scrolling or stalling? How someone manages this finite gift, how they honor commitments, show up when they say they will, tells a story of their priorities, their integrity, their heart. Consider the friend who's always on time. They text you back promptly, meet deadlines without drama, carve out space for what matters. Whether it's a coffee date or a work project. That's not just logistics. It's love. It's a quiet declaration. You matter. Your time matters. I'm here because I said I would be. Now think of the colleague who's perpetually late. Meetings start without them. Promises pile up unkept. Their calendar a tangle of "I'll get to it." It's not just disorganization. It's disregard. A subtle signal that their chaos trumps your trust. In a culture where busy is a badge of honor, showing up on time isn't just practical. It's profound. It's a nod to the Stoic ideal of being true to your word, a cornerstone of character that holds relationships and reputations together. But this goes beyond clocks and calendars. How we spend our free moments, the hours when no one's watching, paints an even richer picture. Do we invest in growth? Like the single mom in Houston who spends her evenings learning Spanish to connect with her kids' heritage? Do we nurture bonds like the retiree in Portland who volunteers at a soup kitchen trading TV for purpose? Or do we drift, lost in the glow of Netflix marathons or endless TikTok loops, letting time dissolve into distraction? Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire yet wrestled with his own mortality, urged us, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." It's a wake-up call. Every second is a choice, a chance to align our actions with our deepest values. This isn't about guilt-tripping ourselves into productivity. It's about intention, about crafting a life that reflects who we want to be. Picture a busy lawyer in Boston, juggling court dates and clients. She could let her days blur into a haze of emails and exhaustion. But instead, she carves out 30 minutes each morning to meditate, grounding herself before the storm. That's not just time management. It's reverence, a quiet stand for clarity over chaos. Contrast that with the manager who cancels plans last minute, leaving his team scrambling. His time is a whirlwind, and everyone else pays the price. One builds trust, the other breaks it. One honors the moment, the other lets it slip away. And here's the magic. When we value time, we don't just elevate ourselves. We elevate everyone around us. A leader who starts meetings promptly, respects agendas, and delivers on promises sets a tone of professionalism that ripples through the office. A parent who keeps their word, showing up for the school play, not just promising to, builds a bond of reliability their kids can lean on. In a world where "I'm swamped" is the default excuse, choosing to honor time is a quiet rebellion, a refusal to let life's noise drown out what matters. It's the Stoic art of living purposefully, of treating each hour as a brushstroke on the masterpiece of our existence. So let's turn the lens inward. How do you handle your time? Are you the one who shows up, ready and present, or the one who lets minutes bleed into excuses? This isn't about shame, it's about possibility. Start small. Set a goal, stick to it, say no to what doesn't serve you. Watch how it shifts your days, your relationships, your sense of self. Because time isn't just a clock ticking. It's the rhythm of your character, the beat of your truest intentions. As we step away from these reflections on life's small trials and fleeting hours, the journey's far from over. Next, we'll dive into the shadows and the spotlight, how people act when no one's watching, and how they wield the power they're given. These are the deeper waters of the soul, and they're waiting to show us even more, how they act in private. Imagine it's a quiet Tuesday night in a small apartment somewhere in Austin, Texas. The kind with creaky floors and a single flickering lamp casting shadows on the walls. The world outside hums softly with distant traffic, but inside, it's just you, alone with your thoughts. No one's watching, no notifications pinging, no audience to impress. You find a wallet left on your doorstep, $20 and a driver's license inside. Do you pocket the cash and toss the rest, figuring no one will know? Or do you track down the owner, slipping it back to them with a quiet nod? That moment, small and unseen, isn't just a choice, it's a revelation. Welcome to the fourth Stoic secret, how someone acts in private. These are the hidden chapters of our lives, the ones that don't make it to the highlight reel, yet they're the truest measure of our integrity, the bedrock of who we really are when the curtains drop. In a culture like ours, where social media feeds glow with curated victories and every coffee shop in Portland or Brooklyn doubles as a stage for performative virtue, it's easy to shine when the spotlight's on. We donate to charity with a hashtag, volunteer with a camera rolling, say the right things at the right time to the right crowd. But what happens when the audience fades? When there's no applause, no likes, no witnesses to pat us on the back? That's where the real story unfolds. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled an empire yet wrestled with his own soul, wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." It's a haunting, beautiful truth. Not because someone's keeping score, but because those private acts shape the core of our being, rippling into everything we touch, seen or unseen. Let's paint this picture. Think of a late-night shift at a diner off a lonely highway in Nevada, grease-stained counters, a jukebox humming in the corner. A cook spots a coworker's tip jar, half full of crumpled ones. No one's around, the manager's in the back, the cameras are off. Does he dip his hand in, reasoning it's just a few bucks? Or does he leave it be, knowing it's not his to take? That choice, made in the dim glow of a neon sign, isn't about the money, it's about the man. It's the difference between a heart anchored in principle and one swayed by opportunity. Because here's the Stoic wisdom. Integrity isn't loud. It doesn't need a megaphone or a medal. It's the quiet resolve to do right when wrong would be easier, when no one would ever find out. This matters more than we often realize. Why? Because these private moments are where character is forged, not just revealed. Picture a college kid in a cramped dorm room in Ann Arbor, Michigan, cramming for finals. The professor's left an answer key online by mistake. Unguarded, tempting. Does she download it, banking on a grade she didn't earn? Or does she close the tab, grinding through the night on her own steam? No one's there to cheer her honesty or shame her cheat. But that decision isn't neutral. It's a brick in the wall of her soul. Every time we choose the hard right over the easy wrong, returning a lost phone instead of selling it, keeping a promise no one else remembers, we don't just prove our worth. We build it, layer by layer, until it's unshakable. Now let's flip the lens. What about those who falter in the shadows? The coworker who fudges expense reports when the boss isn't looking. The friend who spills a secret they swore to keep because no one's around to call them out. It's not just a slip. It's a crack. A sign of a compass that spins with the wind instead of pointing true north. These acts might stay hidden, tucked away in the corners of their lives, but they leave a mark. They erode trust not just with others but within themselves. Because when we betray our own values in private, we carry that weight forward, a quiet dissonance that whispers, "Who are you? Really? Stoicism teaches us that integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent, about aligning our hidden selves with the face we show the world. And here's the light in this reflection. We can choose differently. It starts small in the everyday silences. Next time you're alone with a chance to cut corners. Skipping a chore you promised to do. Bending a rule no one enforces. Pause. Ask, what does this say about me? Am I the person I want to be when the door's closed? That pause is power. It's the Stoic art of self-mastery. A chance to say, I don't need eyes on me to be honorable. And when we live that way, something shifts. We walk taller, not from pride, but from peace. The kind that comes from knowing our actions match our ideals, whether the room's empty or packed. This isn't just about us, either. It's a gift to the world. A person who acts with integrity in private brings that strength everywhere, to friendships, to workplaces, to communities. They're the ones you trust with your keys, your secrets, your hopes, because you know their word isn't tied to who's watching. In a society obsessed with appearances, where reality TV and viral moments dominate the airwaves, that kind of authenticity is rare, a beacon that cuts through the noise. It's the Stoic promise. Live true in the dark, and your light will shine without trying. How they handle power. And now let's step into a different arena. One where the stakes rise and the spotlight widens. Power. Picture a corner office in a gleaming Chicago skyscraper, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the city below. A new manager sits at the desk, fresh off a promotion, her team buzzing outside. Does she hoard the glory, micromanaging every move, keeping key info close to her chest? Or does she delegate with trust, lifting her people up, sharing the wins like a tide that raises all boats? Same title, same chair, but two vastly different souls. This is the fifth Stoic secret, how someone handles power. It's not about the size of their influence, whether it's leading a Fortune 500 company or steering a family dinner. It's about what they do with it. Power doesn't just reveal character. It amplifies it, turning whispers of intent into shouts of truth. Power is a double-edged sword, and Stoicism knows it well. Seneca, a man who navigated the treacherous courts of Rome, wrote, "True strength lies in contentment and service, not in exerting dominance over others." That's the heart of this principle. In America today, power often wears a shiny badge. CEOs on magazine covers, influencers with millions of followers, parents calling the shots at home. But Stoicism flips the script. Power isn't a prize to flaunt. It's a responsibility to wield with care. How someone uses it, whether to empower or to control, cuts to the core of their nature, showing us who they are when the world hands them the reins. Let's ground this in the real world. Think of a high school coach in a small town like Boise, Idaho. Whistle around his neck, clipboard in hand. He's got sway over a team of kids. Some starry-eyed, some struggling. Does he bark orders, benching anyone who falters, chasing trophies to pad his ego? Or does he pull the quiet ones aside, teaching them skills, building their confidence even if it doesn't show up in the win? Column? One breeds fear and resentment. The other fosters loyalty and growth. That's power in action, not in the scoreboard, but in the souls he shapes. Or take a mom in a bustling suburb outside Atlanta, juggling work and home. Does she rule the house with an iron fist, demanding obedience? Or does she guide with patience, empowering her kids to own their choices? Same authority, different legacies. This is where Stoic wisdom shines. Power isn't about domination. It's about service. Picture a tech startup founder in Silicon Valley, her app just hitting 1 million downloads. She could cling to control, gatekeeping decisions, basking in the glow of her success. Instead, she steps back, handing projects to her team, celebrating their ideas, turning I into we. That's not weakness. It's strength. The kind that builds trust and sparks brilliance. Contrast that with the boss who hovers, dismisses, demands. His team shrinks under him, creativity stifled, morale a ghost. One uses power to lift. The other uses it to press down. One creates harmony. The other sows discord. In a nation where leadership is lionized, from Capitol Hill to corporate boardrooms, this distinction is everything. And here's the deeper layer. Power tests us all, not just the big shots. It's in the small moments, holding a secret that could sway a friend's choice, leading a group project at school, even deciding who gets the last slice of pizza at a late-night hangout in Philly. Do we wield it with fairness, with humility, or do we twist it for our own gain? Stoicism asks us to reflect. Am I using this to serve or to conquer? That question is a compass, guiding us toward a power that doesn't just command respect. It earns it, building bridges instead of walls. The ripple effect is breathtaking. A leader who empowers, whether a teacher in a rural Kentucky classroom or a manager in a bustling LA warehouse, creates a culture where people thrive. They don't just follow. They flourish, carrying that energy forward. Think of the barista who gets a kind word from her supervisor instead of a reprimand. She passes that warmth to her next customer, and on it goes. But power misused is a wrecking ball. The dictator in the office, the parent who manipulates, the friend who guilts, they leave cracks in trust, in spirit, in the fabric of what could have been. Stoicism reminds us, real power isn't loud or selfish. It's quiet, generous, transformative. So let's bring it home. How do you handle power, big or small? When life hands you influence, a promotion, a confidence, a chance to lead, do you clutch it tight or do you share it wide? This isn't about perfection. It's about purpose. Next time you're in charge, pause. Ask, am I building something here or breaking it? Because power isn't just a tool. It's a mirror, reflecting the truest parts of us back in vivid color. As we close this journey, from the kindness we show the powerless, to the calm we muster in chaos, the time we honor, the integrity we guard, and the power we wield, we've walked a path of revelation. These 5 Stoic secrets don't just show us others. They show us ourselves, lighting a way to live with authenticity, resilience, and grace. The story ends here, but the living begins now. Step into it with eyes wide open, heart steady, and spirit strong. Applying Stoic observations to personal growth. The Stoics didn't just leave us a lens to see others. They handed us a map to become better versions of ourselves. These ancient philosophers, from the bustling streets of Rome to the quiet meditations of Marcus Aurelius, understood that life isn't about what happens around us. It's about what we do with it. The 5 signs we've explored, how people treat the powerless, handle annoyances, value time, act in private, and wield power, aren't just tools to judge character. They're invitations to grow. Now, let's turn that wisdom inward, stepping into 6 practical, profound ways to apply Stoic principles to our own lives. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about building a life of purpose, resilience, and connection in the heart of modern America. Picture yourself on this journey, not as a bystander, but as the architect of your own soul. Ready? Let's begin. Practicing kindness. Imagine a rainy afternoon in a small town like Savannah, Georgia. Puddles pooling on cobblestone streets, umbrellas bobbing through the drizzle. You're at a crosswalk, late for a meeting, when an elderly woman struggles with a soggy grocery bag, apples tumbling to the ground. Do you rush past, eyes on your watch, or stop to help, offering a smile as you hand her the fruit? That choice, small as it seems, is where kindness takes root. It's the first Stoic step to personal growth, practicing kindness, not for applause or reward, but because it's who you choose to be. In a world that often feels like a race, where highways hum with ambition from LA to NYC, this simple act is a quiet rebellion, a stand for something deeper. Kindness isn't transactional. It's not a deposit you make hoping for a payout later. It's a gift, free and full, that reflects the Stoic belief that our actions define us more than our words ever could. Picture a barista in a bustling Seattle cafe, juggling orders as the line snakes out the door. You could snap at her for forgetting your extra shot of espresso, or you could say, "Hey, you're doing great, no rush," and watch her shoulders relax. That moment doesn't just brighten her day, it strengthens you. It's a thread in the fabric of your character, a reminder that you're not here just to take, but to give. Seneca's wisdom echoes here. Treat others as you'd wish to be treated, not because they can repay you, but because it's right. But let's go deeper. Kindness isn't only outward, it's inward too. How often do we beat ourselves up over a missed deadline or a clumsy word? Our inner critic louder than any boss. Stoicism teaches us to extend that same compassion to ourselves. Picture a late night in your apartment, dishes piled high after a long day in Minneapolis. Instead of berating yourself, "Why can't I get it together?" Try a softer voice. "I'm tired, and that's okay. I'll tackle it tomorrow." That self-kindness isn't weakness. It's balance, a foundation for emotional strength. When we're gentle with ourselves, we're better equipped to be gentle with others, creating a cycle of positivity that ripples outward. And that ripple is where the magic lies. Think of a kid watching you hold the door for a stranger at a Walmart in rural Ohio. Your small act plants a seed. Showing them kindness isn't just nice, it's normal. Or a coworker in a tense office in Dallas, stressed over a project, who catches your warm, "You've got this," and passes it on. In a culture obsessed with individual wins, where success is measured in likes and promotions, practicing kindness realigns us with what matters: connection, humanity, purpose. It's not about grand gestures. It's about the daily choice to see others, to lift them, to live with a heart wide open. Every thank you to a janitor, every patient nod to a flustered cashier, builds not just their day, but your soul. A Stoic truth as timeless as the stars. Building emotional resilience. And now picture a stormy morning in Miami. Dark clouds rolling in, thunder rumbling like a warning. Your flight's delayed, your phone's buzzing with work emails, and the airport's a zoo. Do you clench your fists, cursing the weather, or take a breath, grab a coffee, and settle into the wait? This is the second Stoic gift. Building emotional resilience. Life throws curveballs, big ones like loss, small ones like traffic jams, and Stoicism doesn't promise to stop them. It promises something better: the power to stand steady when they hit. Epictetus nailed it. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's the cornerstone here. Control what you can, let go of what you can't, and watch your strength grow. In today's America, resilience feels more vital than ever. We're juggling Zoom calls, grocery runs, and a news feed that never sleeps. Stress is the air we breathe, but Stoicism cuts through the noise, handing us a lifeline. Focus on your mind, not the mess. Take a spilled coffee at a diner in Boise. Do you snap at the waiter, letting it ruin your morning, or wipe it up, crack a joke, and move on? That choice isn't about the coffee. It's about you. Resilience isn't ignoring the spill. It's choosing not to let it drown you. It's the art of bending without breaking, of finding calm in the chaos. A mindfulness is the key. Picture a teacher in a hectic Brooklyn classroom, kids bouncing off the walls, her lesson plan derailed by a broken projector. Instead of yelling, she pauses, breathes, then pivots, turning it into a storytelling session. That pause is power. It's the Stoic trick of stepping back, watching your emotions like clouds instead of riding them like waves. Next time you're stuck in a checkout line at Target, fuming as the scanner beeps endlessly, try it. Notice the heat in your chest. Name it, "I'm annoyed," then let it pass. That's not suppression. It's mastery, a shift from reaction to reflection that keeps you grounded. And here's the beauty. Challenges become teachers. A flat tire on I-80 in Nebraska isn't just a hassle, it's a lesson in patience. A harsh word from a friend isn't just pain, it's a chance to practice forgiveness. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Reframe the question. Not "why me?" but "what can I learn?" That shift turns obstacles into stepping stones, building a resilience that doesn't just survive, it thrives. In a world that glorifies hustle, this is freedom, peace that doesn't depend on perfect days, but on a steady heart. The ripple, you become a rock for others. A parent in Phoenix, calm amid a toddler's tantrum, shows their kid it's okay to feel without falling apart. A coworker in Seattle, unfazed by a crashed server, steadies the team. Resilience isn't solitary. It's contagious, lifting everyone around you. So next time life stings, Ask, what's my move? Choose calm, choose growth, and watch how it reshapes not just your day, but your life. A mastering time management. And now imagine a crisp fall dawn in Boulder, Colorado. The Rockies glowing pink, your breath fogging in the chill. You've got a day ahead, work, errands, maybe a hike if you're lucky. Do you dive in with a plan, carving out time for what matters? Or let it slip away in a haze of scrolling and, I'll do it later? This is the third Stoic pillar, mastering time management. Time's the one thing we all get equal shares of, 24 hours, no more, no less, and how we spend it is the truest vote for what we value. Seneca's words sting. We are tight-fisted with property, but wasteful of time. In a nation built on clocks and calendars, from Wall Street's tickers to Silicon Valley's sprints, this is a call to wake up. A mastering time isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about living with intention. Picture a nurse in Chicago, her shift packed with patience. She could rush through, reacting to every beep or set a goal. 10 minutes per patient to really listen. That choice turns chaos into purpose. Start small. Pick 3 things that matter today: coffee with a friend, a chapter of that book gathering dust, a walk in the park, and guard them like gold. Say no to the rest, the extra meeting, the mindless TikTok binge. It's not rejection. It's reverence. A Stoic stand for what aligns with your soul. Discipline is the backbone. Think of a writer in Nashville, pen in hand every morning at 6 a.m., rain or shine. She doesn't wait for inspiration. She builds it word by word, because time doesn't bend to whims. Marcus Aurelius urged us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. As a gut check, every hour spent on autopilot is an hour lost. Create routines. 20 minutes to meditate, an hour to work deep, a night to call your mom. Stick to them, and watch your days transform from scattered to sacred. The payoff? Clarity and connection. A manager in Austin who honors deadlines lifts his team's trust. A dad in Philly who's home for dinner, not stuck at the office, builds bonds that last. In a culture where busy is a brag, valuing time sets you apart. It's the Stoic art of living fully, not just fast. So ask, how am I spending my minutes? Align them with your heart, and you'll craft a life that sings. Developing integrity. A picture a snowy evening in a cabin outside Boise. Logs crackling in the fireplace. The world hushed under a white blanket. You promised a friend you'd help with their move tomorrow, but a storm's rolling in, and no one would blame you for bailing. Do you call with an excuse, or grab your coat and show up anyway? This is the fourth Stoic gem. Developing integrity. It's not just doing right when it's easy. It's staying true when it's hard, when no one's there to cheer or check. Marcus Aurelius said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That's the North Star here. A life where your word and your walk match, shadows or spotlight. Integrity starts with self-awareness. Think of a cashier in a bustling LA bodega, underpaid and overworked, who finds a $20 bill on the floor. No cameras, no eyes. Does he pocket it or turn it in? That choice isn't about the money. It's about the mirror. It's asking, who am I when no one sees? In a world of shortcuts, where fudging a report or ghosting a promise can feel like no big deal, Stoicism demands more. Reflect. Are your actions lining up with your values? Own the slip-ups. Apologize for that missed deadline. Fix that white lie, and grow. That's not shame. It's strength, the kind that builds trust in yourself first. And trust is the gift. Picture a coworker in Denver who admits a mistake on a project. No excuses, just, I messed up, let's fix it. Her team rallies, not resents, because she's real. Or a parent in Charlotte who keeps a promise to their kid. A zoo trip despite a packed week. Showing reliability isn't just words. Integrity isn't loud. It's steady. A quiet force that holds relationships and reputations together. In a society hooked on optics, where Instagram filters reality, living true is rare and radiant. So next time temptation whispers, pause. Am I honoring me? Choose yes, and watch your life deepen with purpose. Using power wisely. And now envision a sunny afternoon in a San Diego boardroom. Waves crashing outside. A team waiting for direction. You've just been named lead on a big project. Power's in your hands. Do you hoard it, barking orders, or share it, asking, "What do you think?" This is the fifth Stoic lesson. Using power wisely. Power amplifies who we are, virtue or vice, and Stoicism teaches it's not a crown to wear, but a tool to serve. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True power isn't control. It's self-control, wielded with humility to lift others up. Think of a teacher in a rural Texas school. Her voice soft but firm. She could dominate, silencing questions, but instead she empowers, calling on the shy kid, praising effort over grades. That's not weakness. It's wisdom, building confidence that outlasts her class. Or a dad in Detroit, guiding his teens. He could demand obedience, but he listens, teaches, lets them stumble and learn. Contrast that with the boss in NYC who micromanages, the friend who guilts. Power misused breeds resentment, not respect. In a land of loud leaders, from Hollywood to Capitol Hill, Stoicism whispers, lead by lifting. The test is reflection. Next time you hold sway, a promotion, a secret, a choice, ask, am I serving or seizing? A manager in Portland who shares credit with her team sparks loyalty. A sibling in Miami who uses influence to encourage, not manipulate, deepens trust. Power with purpose transforms, not just you, but everyone it touches. It's the Stoic way. Wield it well, and you'll leave a legacy of light, fostering strong relationships. Finally, picture a warm evening on a porch in Nashville. Crickets chirping, lemonade sweating in glasses. You're with a friend, phones down, just talking. Do you listen, really hear them, or wait for your turn to speak? This is the sixth Stoic treasure. Fostering strong relationships, connections, family, friends, strangers. Shape us, and Stoicism shows they thrive on respect, patience, and presence. Epictetus reminds us we can't control others, only ourselves, so build bonds with what you can give, not what you demand. Start with listening. Imagine a coworker in Boston venting about a tough day. You could brush it off, yeah, that sucks. Or lean in, ask, what happened? That attention isn't just kind. It's glue, binding you closer. Or a kid in your life, a niece, a neighbor rambling about their game. Nod, smile, engage, and you've built a bridge. Relationships aren't grand gestures. They're small acts, steady and true. Respect boundaries, too. Don't push when they pull back. A friend in Seattle cancels plans? Take care. See you soon beats, why not? Every time. Challenges? They're gold. A spat with your partner in Chicago. Dishes undone, voices raised. Instead of winning, seek understanding. I hear you're tired, me too. Let's sort it. That's not surrender. It's growth, turning friction into depth. Stoicism sees struggles as chances to shine. Patience in a fight, forgiveness after a slight. Picture a community, your block, your team, where everyone listens, respects, endures. That's not utopia. It's possible, built one bond at a time. The reward? Meaning. A life rich with ties. To the cashier you thank, the parent you call. Beats a life of solo wins. So ask, how am I showing up? Choose presence, choose care, and watch your world bloom with connection. The journey's end and beginning. Here we stand, at the crossroads of insight and action. These 6 Stoic practices, kindness, resilience, time, integrity, power, relationships, aren't just ideals. They're a blueprint. From the quiet streets of small-town America to the roar of its cities, they call us to live deliberately, to grow through every moment. This isn't the end, it's the start. Take these tools, weave them into your days, and build a life that's not just lived, but cherished. A Stoic legacy of strength, grace, and heart. And so, here we are, standing at the edge of this Stoic odyssey, gazing back at the path we've walked together. From the quiet kindness we offer a stranger on a rainy day in Savannah, to the calm we summon in a Miami airport storm, to the precious hours we guard in Boulder's crisp dawn. We've uncovered a way of being that's as old as Rome yet as alive as this very moment. We've learned to anchor ourselves in integrity beneath Boise's snowy silence, to wield power with grace in San Diego's sunlit boardrooms, and to nurture bonds that hum with life on a Nashville porch. These aren't just lessons to observe in others. They're threads we've woven into the tapestry of our own souls, a fabric of resilience, purpose, and connection strong enough to weather any season. This journey doesn't end here. It begins anew with every breath you take. Picture yourself tomorrow morning, waking to the hum of your city or the stillness of your town. Maybe it's the buzz of Chicago's Loop or the hush of a Montana valley. The coffee pot gurgles, the day stretches out like an open road, and you hold these stoic gifts in your hands. The power to choose kindness over haste, resilience over despair, intention over drift. You're not just living. You're crafting a life that echoes Marcus Aurelius's quiet truth. What we do now echoes in eternity, not in some distant afterlife, but in the here and now, in the trust you build, the peace you find, the love you share. This is the Stoic promise. A life not ruled by the chaos outside, but lit by the strength within. But let's not stop at reflection. Let's step into action. The world out there, fast, loud, relentless, needs this light more than ever. In an America of endless notifications, 24/7 news cycles, and the pressure to be everything to everyone, these principles are your compass. They remind you that you don't have to chase the wind. You can stand still and let it pass. They whisper that true wealth isn't in your bank account or your follower count, but in the moments you claim as your own, the people you lift, the integrity you hold when no one's looking. This isn't a philosophy for dusty bookshelves. It's a lifeline for today, a way to rise above the noise and live with clarity, courage, and heart. So how do we bring this into our messy, beautiful, modern lives? Start where you stand, right now, in the thick of April 2025, with spring blooming and time marching on. First, weave kindness into your daily rhythm. Say thank you to the barista in Seattle, hold the elevator for a stranger in Dallas. Small acts that cost you nothing but build everything. And don't forget yourself. When you stumble, offer the same grace you'd give a friend. Second, lean into resilience. Next time your Wi-Fi lags during a Zoom call or rain soaks your plans, pause, breathe, choose calm. It's not the glitch that defines you, it's the grit. Third, guard your time like a treasure. Set a goal each morning. Call your mom. Read a page, walk the dog, and let no be your shield against the clutter. You're not too busy. You're too intentional. Fourth, root yourself in integrity. When temptation knocks, a white lie at work, a shortcut no one sees, stand firm. Be the person you trust with your own heart. Fifth, use whatever power you have over a team, a home, a conversation to lift, not lord. Ask, how can I help? More than what can I get? And finally, nurture your relationships with presence. Put the phone down at dinner. Listen to your kids' wild stories. Meet a friend's eyes when they speak. These bonds aren't extras. They're essentials, the pulse of a life well lived. This isn't about overhauling your world overnight. It's about small, steady steps that turn chaos into calm, drift into direction. If this journey stirred something in you, if you feel that spark of possibility, that whisper of a stronger, truer you, don't let it fade. Join us at ZenLight 8, where we're lighting the way with Stoic wisdom for modern souls. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's keep walking this path together, video by video, insight by insight. Before you go, drop a comment below with inner peace. A little nod to the calm we're chasing, the stillness we're building, the heart of this Stoic life. Share your thoughts, your stories. How are you finding that peace today? We're listening, we're here, and we're growing as one. Until next time, take a breath, step forward, and live the Stoic way, because your truest self is waiting, and the moment is now.